You ever have one of those nights where you're lying in bed at 2 in the morning and all of a sudden you remember that awkward thing you said on a Zoom meeting 3 years ago? Yep, welcome to the club. And it's times like this when caring what other people think can be very annoying. Whether it's overanalyzing that one thing you said at a party, being in a work meeting and just being way too in your head, or even preparing what to say before you speak to some completely irrelevant person on the phone. We've all been there. But here's the thing. All those people that seem like they don't give a damn, the ones getting job promotions and moving up in life like they've cracked some secret code, they're not born with some magical superpower. They've just learned how to stop caring quite so much about what people think. And today, in this video, I'm going to try to help you do the same. Okay, so let's start by actually asking, why do we care so much what other people think? And it's not just because we like to torture ourselves with social anxiety. You can actually trace this back through evolution. Because back in the day when we used to roam around in tribes, about the worst thing that could happen to you, besides actually getting eaten by a saber-toothed tiger or something like that, was that you would get banished from your tribe. Because people wouldn't be able to survive on their own back then. And so social rejection wasn't just awkward back then, it could essentially be a death sentence. And so we learned to fear it like it was life or death. Now, on the other hand, worst case scenario is someone unfollows you on Instagram. But that old programming is still there, lurking in the background, convincing you that Bill from accounting, who is silently judging your slightly casual work attire, is some existential threat. But caring on its own isn't always necessarily a bad thing. Caring means that you can have compassion and empathy, and maybe you're even a half-decent human being. It can also make you diligent and hard-working and help you create amazing things and bring joy to the world. So let's be honest, you don't want to be the person that just doesn't give a damn about something. Like, if you were to walk up to someone and punch them in the face just saying, screw it, I don't care what you think, you're not enlightened, you're just an arsehole. So yeah, caring isn't necessarily bad. The trick is learning when to stop caring, particularly when it's about things that don't actually matter. Okay, so let's get into some tips now, and tip number 1 is to don't value the opinions of people you don't respect. And let's kick this off with a simple question, which is, why would you care about someone's opinion if you don't even respect them? Or better yet, don't take criticism from someone that you wouldn't take advice from. I used to work at this big fancy law firm, and you'd see as some people used to get more senior in their career, that they would just suddenly think that they could do or say what they wanted, particularly to more junior people. And when you are that more junior person, it can feel quite intimidating. But then I actually started looking at some of these people, and I realized that, yeah, maybe you're quite good at your job, but everything else about you is crappy. You're mean to people, you're out of shape, and you're just generally a bit of a mess otherwise. And I then realized, is this really the sort of person that I want to care about their opinion? Fuck no. So the takeaway? Surround yourself with people that deserve your respect. And if someone you wouldn't take advice from starts criticizing you, it's really just like a priest trying to give you sex advice. Just irrelevant. Tip number 2 is around the spotlight effect, which is this psychological concept where essentially we think that there is this massive spotlight on us at all times, highlighting all our flaws and mistakes for the world to see. The truth though, nobody is watching you that closely. And there's a great quote from Eleanor Roosevelt which says, "You wouldn't worry so much what others think of you if you realized how seldom they do." And so the point is almost that you need to stop making everything about you and realizing that in reality, people aren't paying attention to you like you think and aren't noticing every mistake or word out of place that you think you make. And once you accept that people aren't watching you like it's the Oscars, it will be a lot easier for you to just chill out. Hey guys, if you're enjoying this, please do give this video a like, and it would be great if you subscribe to the channel. Tip number 3 is to focus on others instead of yourself. And to illustrate this, have you ever noticed how after a few alcoholic beverages, you feel pretty loose and at ease with others? Well, there's science behind this because alcohol works by affecting the prefrontal cortex in your brain, which is responsible for a lot of your thinking and perception. And so alcohol is essentially reducing your consciousness, i.e. making you feel less self-conscious. Now, I'm not telling you to just go and get pissed to solve all of your problems, but there is a lesson here, which is that booze is essentially working by taking the focus off of yourself. So if you want to stop worrying what other people think, start paying attention to other people instead. Really listen, engage in conversation, be interested in them instead of worrying about being interesting. Because if your focus is on someone else, you just won't have time to be worrying about what that person thinks of you. Plus, if you are really present, people will just think you're a good conversationalist, which can only be a good thing. Tip 4 is to practice self-acceptance. Because not caring what other people think isn't about being indifferent. It's about being comfortable with who you are, even if you've got a few flaws. And newsflash, we all do. And that's not to say that you shouldn't try to work on yourself and improve certain aspects of your life, because self-development is important and can have powerful implications. But at some point, you do just need to sit back and think to yourself, yeah, I'm a pretty good dude, even if I've got a few flaws. Or maybe, yeah, I've got a few flaws and I've identified them and I do want to work on them, but at the moment, I am where I am, and that's okay. So if you can just really learn to accept yourself for who you are and not be quite so hard on yourself and realize that your value is not based on never making a mistake or being flawed in some ways, you'll find it a lot easier to not worry so much about what other people think. Tip number 5 is to focus on effort instead of the outcome. And so if you find yourself as someone that is constantly stressed about what other people think, it's probably because you're fixated on the outcome. You're worried about how you're going to perform and how people will judge you. But here's the thing, you can't always control the outcome. But what you can control is your effort. So focus on that. Because if you walk into a situation and all you've got to do is give your best, you can walk into that situation with 100% confidence. And provided you actually do give your best, you can leave that situation, no matter the outcome, feeling good, as giving your best is mission complete. Tip number 6 is the deathbed perspective. And this is my final tip, and so I thought, let's get a bit morbid to finish. And so, one of the most common regrets of people as they get to the end of their life is that they wish they hadn't cared so much what other people think. Another fun fact, once people are gone, they're forgotten pretty quickly. Even like really famous, like legendary people, they get what, maybe a day of headlines and then nothing. And that may seem depressing to some, but I actually think it can be liberating, because once you realize that's the case, you can see that some trivial opinion that someone has about you right now is just temporary and really doesn't matter. And how, in reality, in the grand scheme of things, nothing we do in life is anywhere near as big a deal as we think. All right, there you have it. My top tips and reframes to get you to not care so much about what other people think. Thank you very much for watching, and whilst I hope you don't care now so much about what other people think, I do hope you care about this wonderful YouTube channel. And so it'd be great if you did watch my previous upload here, and it would be even better if you subscribe to the channel. Thanks again, and I will see you in my next video.